All right, traders, I'm going to be sharing with you the final trading idea that we have planned for the day. So in terms of one pattern that is currently repeating itself, if you've been studying the overall 30-minute chart today, you would have been realizing that there is a bullish pattern that is currently repeating itself, and there could be a very nice drop at 3 p.m. heading into the close. So let me share with you in terms of the pattern and what it is that we're seeing. You can see right here, SPY has 3 bullish slanted green candles to the upside. SPY has 3 green bullish slanted candles to the upside. And then you can see it has 2 like red doji candles. It has 2 red doji candles. It consolidates towards the highs. It consolidates towards the highs. Then it breaks out, right? So in a sense, that pattern is very predictable. Based off of what the pattern is saying, they're going to try to push it a little bit higher. And then at 3 p.m. towards market close, they're going to try to drop this. And based off the pattern and based off the history, yesterday it dropped 2 points from the highs at 3 p.m. So how can we figure out where the high of day is going to be? How can we measure this move? Because that could be an insane trading opportunity for zero date options. If you can catch a 2-point drop right before those zero dates expire and puts are getting wrecked the entire day, it's going to be an insane win to have that, man. So how can you kind of measure where it's going to be? So yesterday, in terms of when it was breaking out, this was at 422 and the top was at 422.90. So it went 90 cents higher. Basically, it's saying if we were to measure it, the high could be towards $429. That's where it could be if you were to measure it based off of yesterday. Now, if we look at the daily chart and we were to go with the true best level, this would be it. There's a gap to fill at 429.70. This is the final gap. We have a gap to fill at 429.70 right here when it hit 429.50. Very strong rejection. That will be our key level zone to do puts at that 429.50 to 429.70. And the key is also the timing. You would want this play to occur and you would want it to be at the best prices towards the end of the day. Because if the puts are going to get, theta crushed and absolutely destroyed, if this pattern repeats itself, it's going to try to go higher. They would print like crazy if it had a very nice drop right before the market closed. So the key things we're looking for in terms of timing is like 2:30 p.m., 3 p.m. The later it happens, the better in this situation. And then our key levels, if you were to measure it based off of yesterday, it could be 429. If you were to measure it using the daily chart and you wanted the best price, 429.70. And if that didn't work and I got stopped out, I would hit it again at 431.70, and I would likely make back all the money I lost and more. That's my game plan. That's our final trade for puts. That's how we are seeing the market right now in real time. They're going to try to push it higher, and then into the close, they're going to try to aim for a nice drop. And in terms of what happened yesterday, it dropped 2 points from the highs at 3 p.m. Another thing you can write down is when SPY is typically uptrending like this bullish, it will typically drop during power hour instead of continuing to go up in a lot of situations. If it's already having a very strong bullish up run, instead of it having a power hour spike, it'll typically drop around power hour. So keep all these things in mind. And then in terms of where the exact bottom was, the exact bottom yesterday was slightly under these red wicks. It was slightly under these red wicks and 2 points from the high of day. That's where they're going to try to bounce it. So based off that pattern, they're going to try to bounce it right here at this 426. 426 to 426.30, even like 426.50, they're going to try to bounce it towards there. That'll be the bounce zone if this pattern repeats itself. So if you were to try calls, that would be the level to consider. A 2-point drop from the highs, and the zone would be towards 426.50 to like 426.70, you can say as well. But that's what I'm seeing. That's our overall game plan. If the pattern happens, it happens, and there's going to be always new updates within the Discord and Trader Society as always. In terms of, the levels that I gave out, unfortunately, we did blow through 425. However, it did drop under 425 as well. We saw over a $2.40 drop. The high was 426.40. This went all the way down to 424. Some people made money on puts. Some people lost money on puts. And then the second level was 428. That worked. This topped at 427.70. We had one trader putting 100K. Dimitri, he did it at this level. He believed in that 427.70. He went with it here, slightly lower, and it worked. And you can see our 428 level, it just worked again. Puts just went back in the money. So the 425 idea, if you were to hold it or if you timed it right, it would have worked. in terms of scalping. The 428 idea has worked multiple times already. It worked right here, it worked right here, and it worked right here. Again, we are doing laser quick scalps, very quick scalps in and out. We're not looking to hold our hopes. But with that being said, man, that's our current game plan, and that's how we see and read the market. So we're basically hoping for that pattern to repeat itself, and we're hoping for this to continue to push higher. Remember, if you were to measure it off of yesterday, the high would be 429. If you were to look at the daily chart and wanted a better entry, then 429.50, 429.70. If you get stopped out, 431.70. I doubt it will hit, but we're in a crazy market. If this went to 431.70 and I got stopped out of puts, I would hit puts extremely heavy at 431.70. But that's what I'm seeing. That's my overall analysis. And what you guys have to understand is the levels, the bull traps, the bear traps, the levels we're scalping at, it always gets updated, man. The levels change, the updates change. That's why you have to be in the program, in the Discord. I'm making this video here right now because I don't want to see anybody get hurt in a sense, but I can't always do that or have the time to make these videos for those of you who are not in the program. Like, we update this every single time in real time, and we bring awareness to all these patterns. One of the things that really pissed me off and threw me off in the morning was, we have this extremely red bearish doji, and you guys know I talk about how it always tries to retest the high of those wicks, but this was at one of the best resistance levels possible, and it formed a very bearish doji on the 30-minute, and it barely went lower, and then it skyrocketed. That really was frustrating and pissed me off. However, I could see it retracing back to the wick. I just didn't think it was going to happen that early, but it is what it is, man. You could see the same candlestick formed right here at a much lower resistance level, the same candlestick, and it got absolutely crushed, and then it recovered and went back up. I'm not shocked that it recovered and went back up. I am shocked, though, that it didn't have a very nice drop after that 30-minute candle. That pissed me off. But other than that, man, there was no reason for puts after the 30-minute flipped green and bullish. There was really no reason for it. But the levels still worked, man. The 428 level played out for a quick scalp multiple times. This was literally, look at this, man, the 428, 427.70. This for 90 minutes straight, that was the high of day. You could have puts 3 times at that level, and it just worked again. It just worked for the 4th time. So based off the pattern, 429 could be the top. If you're looking at daily chart, best price, gap, close, reversal, we have a gap to fill at 429.50. Those are the zones, those are the levels. And the key time for this zero date idea would be, market close. What you would want to happen is, if you think it's going to drop end of day, you would want it to go as high as possible, and you would want to enter those puts towards a key level, towards market close, and that could be around 3 p.m., right? That's what you would want to happen. So you have to be able to logically see what the most likable outcome is. The most likable outcome would be some sort of nice drop, and you would want it to occur at 3 p.m. because the puts are going to be so destroyed, hopefully, that it just keeps on going up. And then you just look to get in, around the key time. Think about it, they're going to want to try to bank the puts based off yesterday right before the market closes. They're going to try to squeeze everybody out, and then as the market's closing, big drop hopefully. And we know the key levels. We're looking at 429. We're looking at 429.50, 429.70. And we have our, tight stops. And then we also have 431.70. I don't think 431.70 is going to hit, but you never know in terms of, history's not always going to repeat itself in the same way, but very similar cycles. So we're looking at a very similar move towards yesterday. I do think there will be one opportunity into the close for puts to absolutely bank. It just makes sense, man. They've been destroyed for such a long time. If they were to bank, it would be towards market close. People are going to be selling, locking in their gains, and it will likely be at the best level possible. And it just makes a ton of sense, man. And I see it happen all the time where if SPY's uptrending like this, it'll typically drop at 3 p.m. during power hour. Instead of having a power hour run, it'll typically drop. Those are my thoughts. Those are my analysis. What you guys need to understand is the levels are always changing. It's with the most likable outcome. The quotes, the levels, the bull traps, the bear traps, they always change. It's whatever the market's telling me. The time of day is very important. The 30-minute patterns are very important. We are trading what we see. We're not blindly trading. That's my views. That's my analysis. That's going to be our final trade idea for the day, and we're going to be looking to absolutely crush that